Hello, here are my three audience members for my speech. According to the Census Bureau, approximately 10.5 million individuals under the age of 18 were in poverty in 2019. Today, I will be discussing the connection between poverty and education in the United States. Poverty can be defined as the state of not having the financial resources to provide the necessities for a minimum standard of living. Poverty reduces a child's readiness for school, decreases access for quality education, and creates at-home stressors that lead to poor academic achievement. First, living in poverty reduces a child's readiness for school. Children living in poverty are less likely to be ready for school at age 5 than children not living in poverty. School readiness is defined as the status of a child's physical, emotional, and social health, as well as their cognitive and linguistic abilities. A 2012 article written by Julia Isaacs, published by Brookings Institute, says, quote, fewer than half, 48% of poor children compared to 75% of children from moderate or high income households are ready for school at age 5, resulting in a 27 percentage point gap in school readiness. This gap is because children growing up in poverty have less support when it comes to school readiness. Families in impoverished neighborhoods don't have access to high-quality early child education. In fact, 63% of 3 to 4-year-olds from low-income families do not attend preschool, as reported by the Annie E. Casey Foundation in 2013. Not only do low-income children not have access to preschool, but they also lack access to quality education overall. Second, living in poverty decreases exposure to quality education. Low-income schools spend less money per student than high-income schools. As stated by the U.S. Department of Education, low-income schools spend 15.6% less per student than high-income areas. This gap in spending is because schools receive funding from property taxes in their areas. Low-income neighborhoods have low property taxes. According to a 2020 publication from the National Center of Education Statistics, quote, on a national basis in 2016 to 2017, some $269 billion, or 82% of local revenues for public school districts were derived from local property taxes. This lack of funding correlates with the lack of resources. A 2001 book published in the National Academies Press says, quote, in combination, policies associated with school funding, resource allocation, and tracking the minority students with fewer and lower quality books, curriculum materials, laboratories, and computers, significantly larger class sizes, less qualified and experienced teachers, and less access to high quality curriculum. This inadequacy in funding in schools in low-income areas affects students on a day-to-day basis and can lead to poor academic achievement. Third, at-home stressors lead to poor academic achievement from students. Families living in poverty are more likely to experience household chaos than high-income families. Household chaos refers to homes characterized by their excessive noise, crowdedness, and lack of structure and routine. A 2020 article written by Samantha Marsh et al., published in the BMC Public Health, states, quote, household chaos can be linked to caregiver education, family income, and perhaps not surprisingly, the number of people living in the household, whereby a lower level of caregiver education, lower family income, and greater number of people living in the home are associated with greater levels of chaos. Because of increased levels of chaos, children can't focus as easily. According to a 2017 publication written in the U.S. National Library of Medicine by Patricia Garrett Peters et al. Says, quote, excessive noise and crowding and chaotic homes may undermine a children's developing regulatory system that supports their ability to focus and sustain attention. Children living in chaotic homes likely need to expend greater efforts to concentrate and maintain focus and attention, which might hinder their ability and desire to engage in activities that require focused attention that can facilitate learning and achievement. Further, parents in chaotic households do not support their children in a positive way that affect their development. A quote from the same 2017 article reads, Quote, parents in chaotic homes may rely more on authoritarian parenting and may be less likely to engage in positive, sustained verbal exchanges and cognitively stimulating interactions with their children. Indeed, children in chaotic homes demonstrate poorer language and cognitive development, which can impede on the acquisition of basic reading skills that are essential for later school achievement. At-home environment has an substantial effect on children's learning process, and living in poverty is detrimental to a child's home life. To conclude, poverty reduces a child's readiness for school, decreases access to quality education, and creates at-home stressors that lead to poor academic achievement. Frederick Douglass once said, "Some know the value of education by having it. I know it by not having it." Thank you. These are my 3 audience members again.